Hi everyone, let's get started with our hour-long yoga class. And today for practice, you won't need anything unless you like a blanket. Blankets can be helpful for sitting on top of, giving your hips a little bit more height, helping your spine stay long. And you could also use it as you're lying down if that gives you a little extra comfort. Otherwise, whatever you got, you got. And let's get moving. We'll start on our backs. If you have a blanket, feel free to roll it up. Thickness doesn't matter a whole lot. And then you're going to place it in the center of your mat, parallel to the long edges. Your hips will come to the end of that blanket, and you'll just lie back on top of it. Head can stay on the blanket. If it's comfortable to have it off the blanket, that's fine too. If you don't have a blanket at all, just being flat on your back or bending your knees, totally fine. Go ahead and close your eyes. Allow yourself to be as comfortable as possible. And begin to tune into your breath. Notice whether your breath is fast or slow, whether it's smooth or choppy. Pay particular attention to the physical aspects of breathing. On your inhales, your belly, your rib cage, and your chest expand. And on exhales, they soften. Your breath is your tool throughout the practice, as well as all your time off the mat. Let it be your guide. When you notice your breath get a little bit hitched, a little bit choppy, pause and check in. What's causing that? Often you just need to back off whatever you're doing. Take a moment, recollect yourself, and then continue on. As you're tuning into your breath, start to scan your body and notice if you're holding on to any tension that you can release. Soften the space between your eyebrows. Unclench your jaw, maybe wiggle it side to side. Drop your tongue from the roof of your mouth. Continue to notice your inhales and your exhales. As you settle into your space, into your body and into your mind. Just a few more rounds of your full inhales and exhales. If at any time your mind starts to wander, just notice that it's wandering and go ahead and bring it back to your breath. Mindfulness is simply that practice. Noticing when your mind starts to trail off and then bringing it back to a central point of focus. And your breath is a great place to focus. Your breath is a little bit hard to concentrate on. Consider something like the image of a burning candle. It could just be in your mind's eye. Just tune your attention to whatever that focal point is, and you'll once again return to that space of being exactly in the moment. Take 3 more full cycles of breath. And whenever you reach the bottom of your last exhale, gently blink your eyes open, coming back into your room and into your space. Once again, pause, check in, notice what you feel. If you're on a blanket, go ahead and bend your knees and just shift enough that you can remove the blanket and set it off to the side. And then return to your flat back. Wherever you're at, go ahead and bend your knees and hug your right knee in toward your chest. If you'd like, you can keep this left leg bent or feel free to extend it. A few more rounds of breath with this right knee toward your chest. And then at the bottom of your next exhale, right hand to right knee. Go ahead and bring that knee out to the right. Don't have to go super far here. We're opening up through the hip, through the inner leg line, maybe the low back. Could be the outer leg as well. From here, go ahead and start to make small circles with your knee, feeling the top of the thigh bone in the hip socket. Notice if there are any sticky spots, any creaks or cracks. You can go ahead and circle the opposite direction. And come back to your center. Hug that knee in toward your chest. Maybe notice if it's a little bit closer now. This time, left hand comes to your right knee, right arm out to the side. Nice deep inhale. Exhale, you're going to take this right knee over the midline, but don't go further than that left shoulder. So we're keeping this as a leg stretch rather than a twist. This is a particularly good stretch if you like to run, if you have a sore or tight IT band. This really gets that outer thigh muscle that can be a little tricky to get. Take one more inhale, exhale back to center. One more time, hug that knee in nice and close. And then go ahead and release both legs long to the mat and pause. Notice the difference leg to leg. Notice any new sensations or space that you've created in that right leg. We'll do the opposite side. Once again, start with both knees bent and then hug your left knee in toward your chest. You can stay here, this is perfect. Or if it's okay on your low back, you can send that right leg long. Continue to hug your left knee in toward your chest. On your next inhale, left hand to left knee, right arm out long. Go ahead and bring that left knee out to the left. Maybe compare this experience to the experience you had on the opposite side. Maybe it's easier, maybe it's a little bit more challenging. We're not symmetrical side to side, so it's possible one side is a lot more challenging than the other. This could feel way better than the other side. Maybe your stretch is a little bit deeper. All average, normal, common experiences. Go ahead and hug that. Oh, sorry, we're gonna start with circling that knee. Circle your left knee in that hip socket. Once again, notice any sticky spots, any places where maybe you have some creaks or cracks. Circle the opposite direction. Come back to stillness and once again, hug that left knee in toward your chest. Maybe notice if it's gotten any closer. And then go ahead and take your right hand to your left knee, left arm to the side, and bring that right knee over the midline. Once again, don't go further than that right shoulder. Smooth, steady breath. Take one more inhale, exhale back to your neutral spine. Hug that left knee in one more time. See if it's gotten any closer. And then once again, extend both legs long down to the mat and pause. So one more time, go ahead and bend your knees here. And then your right leg is gonna drop to the right. So the outer right leg line is on the mat. And then you're gonna slide that right foot beneath your left thigh. So that right foot's coming toward your left glute. And this is a stretch for the upper right thigh. This is enough, stay here. If you want a little bit more, you could reach your left hand for that right foot and draw it even closer to your left hip. Take one more inhale. Exhale, go ahead and unthread that right foot. Come back so that both knees are pointing toward the sky. And we'll do the opposite side. Drop that left leg to the left. Slide the left foot underneath the right. Stay here. Or if you'd like, you can reach that right hand down toward your left foot and draw it a little bit closer to your right hip. Take one more inhale, exhale, release. Both knees are pointing upward. From here, go ahead and roll to your most comfortable side. Pause for a breath. And then we're going to press our way up to a seated position. And again, this is an opportunity, if you like a little extra support under your hips, go ahead and grab it. From here, cross your legs if that's comfortable. If not, legs can be long. On an inhale, reach both arms up. Exhale, bend at your elbows, draw your shoulder blades together. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend at the elbows. One more time, reach up. Exhale, bend at your elbows. Really squeeze your shoulder blades together here. Reach up. This time, stay long in the spine. Exhale, we're twisting to the right. So your left hand comes to your right knee, right hand next to or behind you. Most importantly, spine stays nice and tall. Take one more inhale here. Exhale, both arms up through center. Inhale at center. Exhale, twist to the left. Right hand to left knee. Left hand next to or behind you. Spine nice and tall. One more inhale here. Exhale, reach both arms up, back through center. Exhale, go ahead and fold forward. Let your head and your neck be heavy. Use this as an opportunity to soften any places where you may have picked up some tension. One more inhale on your exhale, walk your hands back in. From here, we're going to go ahead and do a little bit of neck stretching. So you're going to drop your chin toward your chest, right ear over toward your right shoulder. Stay here, feel this out. And if you'd like a little bit more stretch in the left side of your neck, you're going to extend your left hand toward the floor, fingers nice and bright. And once again, continue to breathe. Take one more inhale here. On your exhale, take your chin toward your right collarbone, gaze toward your right shoulder. This will stretch the back of the neck. And again, option to keep that left hand and arm extended. One more inhale on your exhale. Drop that right ear back toward the right shoulder. And then lower your chin down toward your chest. Pause at center. Next, inhale, roll your left ear toward your left shoulder. Feel this out. And if you'd like a little bit more, stretch your right hand and fingers toward the mat. One more inhale, exhale, chin toward your left collarbone, gaze toward your left shoulder. Same option to keep your right arm extended. If you don't need that much sensation, you can relax it. Take one more inhale, exhale, left ear back toward left shoulder, and then go ahead and roll your chin down toward your chest. Take your palms, bring them to your forehead, and you're going to apply equal pressure, palms into forehead, forehead into palms, creating a little tension in the back of the neck. Release the tension of your forehead, and then use your palms to gently bring your head back to the top of your spine and release your arms. Pause here for a moment. We're going to do a little toe stretch before we move to tabletop and eventually to standing. If your legs are long, keep them exactly as they are. If not, go ahead and extend both legs long. And then you're going to bring your left foot up toward your right thigh. Doesn't matter how far up it gets. What's important is we're going to thread our fingers through our toes. And you want as good a grip as you can. It's going to feel weird. Just get those fingers between those toes. So once you've got that, you're going to squeeze your fingers into your toes. Couple rounds of breath here again. Keep it smooth and steady. If you start to notice a hitch in your breath, back off a little bit. Apply a little bit less pressure. So now we're going to do the opposite. Toes into your fingers. From here, go ahead and roll your ankle one direction. And again, just like with what we did in our hips, notice if there are any places that crack, any places that have a little bit of stickiness. Go ahead and circle the opposite direction. And come back to stillness. So you've got your grip here, maybe tidy it up a little bit. And then all at once, you're going to squeeze your toes into your fingers and your fingers into your toes. Again, it's going to feel weird. Couple rounds of breath here. Take one more inhale. Exhale, go ahead and release. Take your fingers out from between your toes. And then extend that left leg long again. Pause and notice what you feel. Maybe you see a visual difference in your feet as well. I know I do. I see a little more space between my toes, but it feels a little bit more grounded. Your experience might be different. But just take a moment and have that experience. We'll do the other side now. So right foot comes up toward left thigh. And you're going to thread your fingers in between your toes. It can take a little bit of work to get that in there. And once you do, go ahead and squeeze your fingers into your toes. And now squeeze your toes to your fingers. Once again, circle your ankle one direction. Circle it the opposite direction. Come right back to stillness. Tidy up your grip if you need to. And then you're going to apply equal pressure, toes into fingers, fingers into toes. Take one more full inhale. Complete exhale. Go ahead and release. Pull your fingers out from your toes. Once again, extend that right leg long and take a moment to notice. That could be a really good and effective stretch to do whenever your feet feel a little tense, particularly if you wear shoes that are a bit constricting all day. It can feel really nice. Challenging, but when you have that release, it can feel really good, and it's just good for your feet. We're going to make our way to hands and knees, tabletop. Feel free to add any padding under your knees that might feel good, give you a little extra support. Your hips are going to be directly over your knees, shoulders over your wrist, fingers spread nice and wide. You want your index fingers parallel. And then from here, toes can be tucked or untucked. Inhale, lower your belly, lift your chin and your tail for cow pose. Exhale, do the opposite. Round your spine, tuck your chin and your tail, press the mat away from you. Inhale, lower arm down, cow pose. Exhale, round your spine, tuck your chin and your tail. One more time, inhale, lower your belly, lift your chin and your tail. Feel the length in the front body, as well as the compression in the back body. Exhale, round your spine, tuck your chin and your tail. This time, lengthen the back body, compression in the front. Come back to your neutral spine here. You're going to drop your hips over to the right knee, stay on the mat. Maybe take your gaze over the left shoulder. This will be a stretch for the right hip. One more inhale, exhale back to your tabletop. We'll do the opposite. Drop your hips to the left, gaze over to the right. One more inhale, exhale back to center. We're going to do a little shoulder stretch here. So your left hand's going to come beneath your face. Right arm reaches up toward the sky. Open on up. Inhale here. Exhale, right arm threads beneath that left. Come down on that right shoulder. And then the right side of your face. Hips will stay lifted. Left hand can be right next to your face here, or you can extend it long. Couple more rounds of breath. One more inhale. If you've extended that left arm, bring it next to your face. On your exhale, go ahead and press into that left hand. Reach that right arm up one more time. And come back to your tabletop. Do the other side, right hand underneath your face, left arm reaches up. Exhale, thread the left arm beneath the right. Come down on that left shoulder and the left side of your face. Once you're settled, right hand can stay next to your face or feel free to extend it long. Take one more inhale here. Exhale, press into that right hand. Reach that left arm back up toward the sky. And return to your tabletop. Take your big toes to touch, knees out nice and wide. Send your hips back toward your heels. Maybe bring your forehead toward the ground. You can also stack your fists here. Child's pose. Use this as an opportunity to reconnect with your breath. To check in with how you're feeling. Take one more inhale. On your exhale, come back up to tabletop. Tuck your toes. Just like we did in cow pose, lower your belly, lift your tail. And then go ahead and send your hips up and back toward the sky. Knees can be bent. Heels do not need to be on the mat. Let your head and your neck be heavy. And if you'd like, you can pedal out your feet. You can shift your hips side to side. This is our downward dog. Doesn't need to be perfect. What's more important here right now is just feeling it out. Come back to stillness in your legs, and then check out your arms. You want your upper arms hugging inward. And then from here, take a nice deep inhale through your nose. Open mouth side out. We'll do that again. Inhale through your nose. Open mouth side out. Inhale, look forward between your hands. Exhale completely. And then on empty, walk your feet up toward your hands. Doesn't matter how far you get. Wherever you're at, go ahead and release. Let your spine be heavy and drape it over your legs. Knees can be nice and bent here. Feel free to clasp opposite elbows, rock side to side. Let your head and your neck be heavy. Come back to stillness if you're moving on an inhale. Release your hands and bring your palms to your shins. Come halfway up. Exhale, release. We'll do that again. Inhale, halfway up, flat back. Exhale, pose. One last time, inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale this time, reach all the way up toward the sky. Exhale, hands to your heart center. We're going to put all those poses together for a mini sequence, a half sun salutation. This will just continue to warm up the body and the breath. Hands stay at heart center. Take a nice deep inhale. Exhale. Press your hands together. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway up, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart center. We'll do one more. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold. Reach up, inhale. Exhale, hands to heart center. Go ahead and release your arms. Take a moment to look down at your feet. Go ahead and lift up all of your toes and then see if you can set them down one at a time. Bring your weight into the front of your feet. Bring your weight into the back of your feet. Come right back to center. Lean a little bit to your left. Lean a little bit to your right. And come right back to center. Go ahead and close your eyes. Take a moment to feel your feet on the ground beneath you. Really feel that connection and start to draw it upward. We're going to engage all the muscles in our body, starting with our calf muscles. Engage your thigh muscles. Engage your glutes. Draw your navel toward your spine. Roll your shoulders up, back, and down, and actually reach your fingertips toward the ground. Mountain pose. Feel the strength in your body here. Match with the ease and softness of your breath. This is the energy you want to carry with you throughout the standing poses, finding that balance between bodily strength and ease of breath. Couple more cycles of your breath here. Take one more inhale. Exhale, release. Go ahead and open up your eyes. And then you're going to face the long edge of your mat. Take a wide stance. If you're not using a mat, just take a wide stance. You want your toes to be parallel, your feet to be parallel, so your toes will be a little bit pigeon-toed. And a generally good starting point is if you extended your arms, snapped your wrist down, sort of where you want your feet. You might adjust along the way, but this gives you a place to start. From here, bring your hands to your hips. Take a nice deep inhale. Exhale, lead with your sternum, start to fold forward. Release your hands to the floor. On an inhale, come halfway up to your fingertips, flat back. Exhale, release. Head and neck are heavy here. If your hands don't reach the floor, you can let them dangle. If your hands reach the floor easily, you can walk them back, lining up your fingers with your toes. On your next inhale, come halfway up, flat back. Exhale, bend your knees, bring your hands to your hips, and come all the way back up to standing. You're going to turn your right foot so that it faces the short edge of your mat, and you're going to line up the heel of the right foot with the arch of your left. This is where you might need to adjust a bit. Bend into that right knee. You want your knee stacked over that left ankle, or right knee stacked over that right ankle. If it's going too far, that's when you're going to take your stance a bit wider. Once your legs are set, extend your arms, really reach middle finger to middle finger, gaze over that right middle finger. Warrior two. Cultivate that strength in your body with the ease and softness of your breath. Drop your left arm outside your left thigh. You're going to flip your right palm and reach up. Reverse warrior. Stretch for the right side body here. Take one more inhale. Exhale back to your warrior two. Go ahead and release your arms. Straighten that right leg and then turn your toes back so that your feet are parallel. Now you're going to pivot on your heels so your toes point in opposite directions. Feet are still parallel, just pointing in opposite directions. So from here, reach your arms up. Let yourself be nice and big. We're coming into star pose. Take a nice deep inhale. Exhale, maybe you take it into a teeny tiny back bend. Maybe you drop your head and your neck. Let yourself be big and bold and take up space. Couple more rounds of breath. Take one more inhale. Exhale, release. Parallel your feet one more time. This time, left foot is going to turn so that your toes are at the short edge of your mat. Heel that left foot in line with the arch of the right. Bend into that left knee. Once again, check in with your knee. Make sure it's not going past that ankle. If it is, take your stance a bit wider. Once your legs are set, extend your arms. Gaze over your left middle finger. Really reach your middle fingers apart. Warrior two. If you feel your shoulders start to crawl up toward your ears, see if you can soften them. One more inhale. Exhale, drop that right arm outside the right thigh. Flip your left palm, reach up. Reverse warrior. Take one more inhale. Exhale, back to your warrior two. Take a full round of breath. And at the bottom of your exhale, release your arms. Straighten that left leg. Go ahead and turn your toes in. And heel toe your feet back together. Back to your mountain pose and just be here for a moment. Notice what you feel, where you feel it. We're going to do a balance pose before we come back down to our seats. We're going to do a tree pose today. So this will bring some grounding and really teach the way to engage your muscles, to find your balance, and also most importantly, finding a focal point. So you want something in front of you, eye level, that doesn't move. Bring your hands to your hips, find that gazing point, and soften your gaze there. Start to bring your weight into your right leg. Come up on the ball mound of your left foot, and then turn the bottom of your left foot so that you're kickstanding it against the inside of your right leg. So that left knee is out to the left. Stay here. This is awesome. Great place to be. If you want a little bit more, maybe you bring that left foot up and inside the right calf. If you've got a wall or a chair, something steady beside you, feel free to use it as counterbalance. But also don't be afraid to fall. This is about practice, not perfection. If you'd like, you can bring your hands to heart center. Maybe you reach them up overhead, grow your tree branches. Couple more rounds of breath. Take one more inhale, bring your hands back to heart center. Then back to your hips and go ahead and release your standing leg. Shake it out. So again, remember our bodies are not symmetrical side to side. This next side might be easier, might be a little bit more challenging, might be about the same, but just feel different. Normal, totally normal. So once again, start by finding your focal point. Soften your eyes on that spot, and then start to bring your weight into your left leg. Come up on the ball mound of your right foot, and turn that foot so the bottom is on the inside of your left leg. Feel free to stay in this kickstand. If you'd like, you can bring that right foot to the inside of the left calf. Wherever you're at, feel free to fall, get back up, try something different. If you're here and it's going well, or even if it's not going well, go ahead and bring your hands to heart center, see what happens. And then from here, maybe grow your branches, reach up. Take one more inhale wherever you're at. Exhale, bring your hands back to heart center, back to your hips, and go ahead and release. Once again, shake out that standing leg. Great job, everybody. So to come down to the mat, we're going to do a squat. And every person who does this looks differently. The more you do it, sometimes you find you can go a little deeper. If you don't go deep at all, that's okay. You're going to take your feet just a tiny bit wider than hip width, and toes are going to point outward. So sort of like when we did that star pose. Bring your hands to your hips or to heart center, and you're going to start to bend your knees. Knees are going to go out over your toes. So being right here is perfect. Maybe you go a little bit lower, maybe a bit lower. Maybe you can sink all the way down. Doesn't matter. Stay wherever you're at. We'll be here for a few rounds of breath. If you find that your heels are off the mat, maybe take your stance a bit wider. Maybe turn your toes out a little bit more. We'll take 3 more rounds of breath wherever you're at. Bottom of your last exhale, bring your hands to the floor. Go ahead and lift your hips, turn your toes so that they're parallel. And then from here, slowly come down to your seat. Once again, any support you want under your hips, go ahead and grab. And from here, send your right leg long, left foot inside your right thigh. Reach both arms up, inhale. Exhale, navel toward your straight leg. Keep your spine long, lead with your sternum, fold forward. Hands are gonna go where hands go. What's more important is that your spine stays long here. If you'd like, an option here is to bring this left hand somewhere outside the right leg. So it could be outside the right calf, right ankle, right foot, could be on the floor next to it. So bring a little rotation. So you might feel a little bit more in your low back, somewhere in the back of the left hip. Could be somewhere different. Once again, find that smooth, steady breath. Take one more inhale. On your exhale, come all the way back up to your tall spine. We'll do the opposite side. Send that left leg long. Right foot inside left thigh. Make sure that you're situated here. Inhale, reach both arms up. Exhale, navel toward the straight leg. Lead with your sternum, fold forward. Again, hands go where hands go. Doesn't matter how deep you are. What's more important is your spine stays long. Once again, option to take this right hand somewhere outside the left leg. That'll introduce a tiny bit of rotation and change where you might feel the stretch. Take one more inhale. On your exhale, walk your hands back in. You're going to keep your right leg exactly where it's at. Lean to your right onto that right hip and send that left leg behind you. Toes can be facing straight back. They could be facing toward your hip. Top of your foot might be on the mat, might be off to the side. It's okay. Just make sure that this knee feels okay. If it doesn't, make some adjustments. We're going to come into a twist. Once you're settled, reach both arms up. Inhale. Exhale, right hand to left knee, left hand next to or behind you. Keep your spine nice and long. This is very similar to that first twist we did earlier in the practice. We've just changed up the leg position. So you might feel it somewhere in the legs a little bit different this time. Might not feel anything in the legs at all. Take one more inhale, exhale, come back to center. Go ahead and lean to your right. This time that left leg is going to come in front. Right leg comes behind. Again, make any adjustments with your foot. Any adjustments you need to keep this right knee as safe as possible. When you're ready, inhale, reach both arms up. Exhale, twist to the right. This time, left hand to right knee, right hand next to or behind you. Most importantly, spine nice and tall. One more big inhale. Full exhale. And return to center. From here, bring the soles of your feet together. Knees will go out wide. Options here. The closer your feet are to your body, the more it's an inner thigh stretch. The further you go from your body, the more it's kind of an outer leg stretch. Choose whatever is appropriate to you right here, right now. Bring your hands to your ankles or your toes. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Stay nice and tall. Exhale, lead with your sternum. Start to fold forward. Your elbows can press into your inner thighs here. Might create a little bit more opening If it's too much, go ahead and feel free not to apply that pressure. Couple more rounds of breath. On your next inhale, come all the way back up. Hands come behind your knees. Bring your knees back up toward the sky. Wrap your arms around your legs and give yourself a little hug. Drop your chin in your head if you'd like. If you'd like to rock hip to hip, go ahead. Take a moment. Come back to center. We're going to make our way down to our backs. And once again, when you arrive on your back, legs can be long or knees can be bent. Most importantly is just to notice how it feels. Might feel a little bit different than when we first started the class. From here, bend both your knees and cross your left ankle on top of your right knee. Keep that left foot flexed, so like you're standing on something. If this is enough stretch for your hips, stay right here. If you'd like a little bit more stretch, you're going to hug your right knee in toward your chest, thread your hands behind your thigh, and hold here. Listen to your body. Listen to your breath. Take one more inhale. If your right foot is off the mat, go ahead and bring it back down. And then keep the setup. So left ankle on top of right knee, and then you're just going to drop it over to the right. We're coming into a twist. It's okay if the low back comes off the mat. Once again, smooth, steady breath. Take one more inhale. Exhale, come back up to center. Uncross that left ankle from on top of the right knee. We'll do the opposite side, right ankle on top of left knee. Stay right here if this is enough. If you'd like more, hug that left knee in toward your chest. Thread your hands behind your thigh to give yourself a little extra support. Couple more rounds of breath. On your next inhale, if your left foot is off the mat, go ahead and bring it down. And then when you're ready, you're going to drop everything over to the left. Right foot outside, left leg, left side of your mat, coming into a twist. One more inhale, exhale, back up to center. Uncross that right ankle from on top of your left leg and then send your legs long. Reach both arms up overhead, take a full body stretch. And then clasp your left wrist with your right hand. Keep your hips where they're at and start to drag your torso to the right. Keep that there. Keep your hips cemented and then walk your legs over to the right. Maybe cross that left ankle on top of your right leg if that gives you a little extra support. Coming into the shape of a crescent moon or a banana. This is called banana asana. Notice the sensations in the side body. Couple more rounds of breath. The bottom of your next exhale, go ahead and bring your legs back beneath your hips. And then slowly bring your torso back in line as well. Pause at center. Notice what you feel, where you feel it. One more time, reach your arms up overhead, full body stretch. This time, right wrist and left hand. Hips stay where they are. Start to bring your torso over to the left. Once you've settled, stay with your hips exactly as they are, but walk your feet over to the left as well. You can cross that right ankle if that feels good. Allow yourself to melt. Take one more inhale on your exhale. Walk your legs back beneath your hips. And then bring your torso back in line as well. From here, go ahead and hug your knees into your chest. If you'd like, you can rock side to side. You can roll out to your sacrum, making circles. Take these last couple moments to move before we settle into Shavasana, our final resting pose. Come back to stillness, knees still in toward your chest. Take a nice deep inhale. Exhale, press your forehead up toward your knees. Stretch out the back of your neck, and then go ahead and release all of your limbs down to the mat. Preparing for Shavasana. Grab any props that will give you support here. A blanket can feel really great under the knees. Perhaps some support under your back. Once you're settled, take a nice deep inhale through your nose. Open mouth, side out. We'll do that again. Deepest inhale you've taken all week long. Open mouth, let it go. Feel your limbs grow heavy while your eyelids and your breath grow light. And allow yourself to drift away. When it's time to return to your body, I'll bring you back. But for now, your job is to find ease and comfort. Begin to deepen your breath. Bring movement back into your fingers and your toes. Make small circles with your wrists and your ankles. Reach your arms up overhead. Take a full body stretch. Bend your knees and gently roll to your most comfortable side and let your whole body rest. Keeping your eyes closed, press yourself back up into a seated position. Head and neck will be the last at the top of your spine. Bring your right hand on top of your heart and your left hand on top of your right, pausing in this gesture of self-compassion to honor your efforts, to honor the time that you've given to yourself, and to digest the effects of the practice. Bring your palms to touch in front of your heart. Thank you all so much for sharing your practice with me. From the bottom of my heart to yours, namaste. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day.